Stampin' Friends. This is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper. Welcome to my studio here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. Today we'll be making this cute little card. This is a birthday card. It could be for anything. It says hello on the front, so it could be for almost any occasion. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this card. I went to a retreat in Wisconsin that was held by a friend of mine, Susanna, and she designed this card. She did use a different stamp set and different paper, but basically it is the same card. So I wanted to give her a little shout out and thank her for designing this card. We made it in my stamp class and they all loved it. We are going to be using the Fluffiest Friends stamp set. This also comes as a bundle. I do not have the dies. This stamp set came to me in kind of a roundabout way without dies. So I have them ordered, but they're not in yet. So I can't show you those, but there are some really cute dies that go with this. A beehive and there's an arched window, really cute. So you can find that online. Because this stamp set doesn't have greetings, I'll also be using the Simply Said stamp set. This has 10 different greetings and 2 different fonts. So we'll be using the hello for the front and the happy birthday for the inside. I'll also be using this embossing folder. This is a giant embossing folder. It is, I don't know if you can see the dots. I don't remember the name of this, maybe 3D dotted circles. I'm not sure. I'll put it in, I'll put it on the video, the name of this embossing folder, but this is the one we'll be using. You'll need supplies. This is a piece of Azure Afternoon cardstock. It is cut vertically on the cardstock page. So it's the 8.5 by 11. So this is cut to 4.25 by 11. Now I've scored it. And the reason I've scored it is because when you have this type of card and you fold it, it will fold really nicely because there's kind of a warp and weave like fabric to cardstock. So when you get it cut into this orientation, it doesn't fold quite as nicely without being scored. So that's why I have scored that and folded it. This is a piece of bubble bath cardstock. We have a piece of berry burst cardstock. We have a piece of basic white. We also have a square of basic white. We have our 2 DSPs, and we have a panel for the inside of our card. So those are all the pieces that we have. And so let's get started. So the first thing, of course, we're taking our card base and we are folding it, and we're going to use our bone folder to burnish it, give it a nice crease. Then I have taken my bubble bath piece and I've cut a circle out of it. I've used this die from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I've cut it right out of the center because I'm going to use this as a layer. I'm going to cover up that hole. It's just a good paper saving technique. So I have these pieces. The white square that I told you about, I have used a die from the Spotlight on Nature dies to cut that out. So I have this piece. We have our berry burst layer. We have the white layer, and that's the one that I've embossed with that embossing folder. So you can see all the texture there. And then I have these 2 pieces of DSP. So we're going to go ahead and start putting this card together, and then I have my the inside of my card. So on the outside, we are simply going to start attaching these layers. So we're just going to put that in the center of our card. And then we have the Berry Burst panel. And that's going to be centered right over that. And you can see that now we have covered up the hole that we cut in the bubble bath piece. So nobody will even know that is there. Now we have our white that's been embossed. We'll put it on. And our DSP, and I'm going to switch over to some glue for this one, just because it is a little bit more forgiving, and if I get it on there crooked, I have a little bit of time to work with that. So the reason I flipped that around, if you saw me flip that around, it's because this blue down here, if I put it up there where it was going to be covered up, and I kind of wanted to see that blue that ties in with the rest of our card. Now we're going to do our stamping. So this is going to be the inside of our card, and I've taken the little flowers. So there's a set of 3 little flowers, and there's a set of 3 little bees. I'm going to stamp both of those on this inside of this card. So there are our flowers. And there are the bees. And while I'm doing my stamping, I'm going to stamp the happy birthday on this. And because this is a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to bring in my foam pad so that I have a nice cushioned surface. There's the happy birthday. And then my white circle, I'm going to stamp this little mystery animal. Like I said, if you know what this animal is, please comment and tell me. And our hello. So there's our stamping. Now I'm going to do some coloring. Oh, one more thing to stamp, and I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper for this one, because I'm going to take this little piece of blue, and I'm going to use this mystery animal and his little balloon, and I'm just going to stamp the balloon on that little blue piece. So now my stamping is finished. I did all of that in the Memento Black because we're going to be coloring with the blends. And so the Memento is what you need to use if you want to color with the blends, because it won't smear or bleed. So now we are ready to color. I'll just leave that on the scrap paper. And I've got, this is Dark Lemon Lime Twist. That is going to be for our little leaves. I'm going to do this pretty quickly. I've got Lemon Lolly. This is Dark Lemon Lolly. That's going to be for our little bees and our flower centers. I have Azure Afternoon, dark, and that will be our little flowers, at least one of the little flowers. And the other two are going to be done in Dark Berry Burst. So these are all other than, let's see, these are all the darks. So I'm using all the darks. I like to use the darks when I can because I tend to use the lights more. And so this gives me a chance, because they come in sets, you can't just replace your light marker. So I try to use the dark ones when it doesn't really make a difference. So there are our flowers and our bees. And this piece is now ready to go inside our card. I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch border around the 4 sides. There's the inside of our card. Now this I colored, I used the smoky slate. I'm not going to make you watch me do that because that's quite a bit of coloring. So I did the very same thing. I used my blends, and then I used my bubble bath blends to color the little hands and feet and nose and ears. So this one is now ready to go on top of this circle. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this circle down in the center of the card front. Whoops. And I did use glue on that because of that embossed panel. I want to make sure that's going to stick well. And then for this piece, I'm going to use dimensionals. So I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals on the back of this. And I will put him right in the center of that pink circle. So he's popped up. And then the balloon, I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of it. And I'm going to put it right over the balloon that I did not color. So I'm going to get over here where I can see it a little bit. So there's our little balloon and our card. The last thing I did, I took some of the rainbow adhesive back dots and I just added a couple of those to the card. And there you have it. There's our cute little card. Again, thanks Susanna for creating the one that you did. If you like this card, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you have any questions, you can email me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. If you'd like to see more of my projects, of course, there's my YouTube channel. I also have a website at www.bluegrassstamper.com. If you need any supplies, I'd love to help you out with that. Contact me, and thank you for stopping by this afternoon, and I hope that you'll visit me again. Thanks a bunch. Bye.